Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. I'm a beauty enthusiast and consultant who loves to talk about everything dealing with beauty and makeup, and today, Mother Pat. I did not think she could do her blushes and her highlighters any better, but she challenged herself, and I'm gonna save my thoughts throughout the video. You're gonna have to watch to hear what I really think about these blushes and these new highlighters, but I cannot wait to get into Mother Pat's new Divine Glow and her Divine Duo blushes. So stay tuned for swatches and comparisons and all the things that you might think of. I'm gonna try to do my best to answer all your questions and let you know if you need these products. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it, and I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, join the Glam Girl Squad, and give this video a thumbs up if you really do enjoy it, and let's get right into the video. So, Mother Pat came out with 6 new Divine Duo blushes. I picked up 4 of the shades. I'm really trying to do my best to not just buy everything because it's just available. So I got 4 of her new blushes, and then I picked up 2 of the 4 highlighters. So Mother says, we're just gonna get right into the details. She says that these are petal soft to the touch, feather light, buildable and blendable, mistake proof application, vivid color payoff, demi matte and satin pearl finishes, all day wear, soft focus effect. So she says these powerhouse pairings of satiny powder blushes feature buildable layers of color for even mistake proof application. My favorite tip, sweep over foundation for rich saturation or after powder for a soft diffused look. Turn your cheeks on with these modern vibrant shades, each expertly blended to beautify all skin tones. So she says that if you want to really sculpt and build the cheeks, you can use the blushes individually, or you can just swirl your brush in the pan to get more of a combined combination of the shades. So what I did for you all, I swatched each shade individually on my cheeks, and then I showed you on the other side of my cheek what the actual blush looks like, just swirling your brush in the blush. So the first swatch that you saw was this shade here called Venetian Sunrise. Sorry if there's a little kick up, obviously I've already used them. This shade is so pretty, and I really loved how this looked on the cheeks. I was actually shocked that this light purple shade showed up the way that it looks in the pan, but it doesn't look uncomely, not comely on my skin complexion. It's definitely not too light, and I really love it. I don't have a lot of cooler toned blushes, and I do think that this is a more cooler toned blush that I really like. Something that Pat does that I think is really amazing is that she creates lighter tones of blushes that don't look so ashy and stark on deeper complexions, and I love that because not all brands can do that. Here is Divine Rose 2, and I had to get this one. And this one is just beautiful. The contrasting of the 2 shades are not as different as some of her other blushes, but I really enjoyed this one on the cheeks, and I can tell this will be a shade that I will reach for pretty often because you guys know I love me some pink. I know y'all be over patting her pink. I'd be here for the pink, but this is a shade that I knew I definitely wanted and would use. Then we get into this one, Paradise Glow. Come on, look at this. This is like summertime bronzy glow in a blush. It's actually the blush that I'm wearing now on my cheeks. I knew I wanted to wear this today. I just want to look like a bronzed goddess, and I think this one is stunning. Like this on some rich, deep skin probably would look more like a highlighter versus a blush. But if you have like nice, rich, like deep skin, maybe not deep, dark skin, this is just gonna look like your cheeks, but better. Stunning. And then the shade that I feel like if you weren't drawn to in the pictures, even if you don't want to wear it, like you can't deny the beauty of this one. This is called Night Bloom. And I was like, even if I don't wear this, do you see this? So this one, in the demo, y'all, I went ham, okay? I definitely over applied. I tried to blend it out, but then I said, hey, at least for my deep, rich complexion, they can definitely see how deep this goes. If you are lighter, medium light, light medium, medium tan, light, all. If you are definitely of a lighter complexion, a tan complexion, go with the light hand. I would even say deep rich, go with the light hand. Mother did not play with the richness of these shades, and I am here for it. This like purple shade right here, I really, really enjoyed this on the cheeks. This one basically is straight up red almost. And I was like, okay, we're gonna have to dial it back. Like I said, I would just go in with the tiniest bit to get a diffused look on the cheeks, but this one is, it's so pretty nonetheless, okay? So now I'm gonna get into arm swatches of the blush shades, and just like I did on the cheeks, I went in with the individual blush shades, and then I did a swatch of the blush shades combined. For all of these, the first shade that you'll see is like this ray of sunshine pattern, and then the second shade that you'll see is going to be the shade that has the flowers. And can we talk about the packaging here? Like this embellishment, this design of the blushes, nobody does packaging like Mother Pat. I love it. So Venetian Sunrise is the first swatch of 3 that you see. Then we get into Divine Rose 2. Once again, this is your first swatch, second swatch, and then the third swatch is the shade combined. Then we have Paradise Glow, first swatch, second swatch, third swatch combined. Lastly, Night Bloom, first swatch, second swatch, third swatch combined. So each one of the blushes is $44. We get 9.7 grams of product or 0.34 ounces of product. And compared to her original blushes, we get the same amount of product in the original blushes, so that is nice. The Divine Glow highlighters, they retail for $4 more, $48. And like I said, they come in 4 shades. And so like I said, I didn't feel the need to get all 4 shades because there were very slight differences between all 4. But I did pick up 2. So this is the first shade that you see swatched on the back of my hand. Beautiful. The formulation is very beautiful. And then the second shade is going to be Bronze Mirage, which I think this one is really, really beautiful. And for the highlighters, we get 4.6 grams of product or 0.16 ounces of product. And compared to her other highlighters that are this size, we get the same amount of product in the highlighter. So very happy about that as well. Some quick points about the highlighters. Pat says that they're infused with botanical oils, high intensity glow, micro perfecting finish. And Pat says that this high intensity highlighter is the perfect texture to sculpt with light on my 7 favorite go-to highlight points. So Pat says you can apply this on the inner corner of the eyes, the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, the center of the chin, the tops of the cheekbones, the center of the eyelids, and the brow bone. So these highlighters are stunning. They are beautiful. However, I do feel like these highlighters are basically on par with her other highlighters. So this is the shade called Golden Nectar. I forgot when she released this one, but just watching Golden Nectar and the feel of these new ones, I feel like the formulation is pretty much the same. So I'm gonna do a quick swatch of the highlighter so you can see a comparison of it. So we have here Golden Moonlight. This is from this particular launch. Here is Bronze Mirage. So these are the 2 new ones that I picked up. And then this is Golden Nectar. And to me, we see slight differences between all 3 of the shades, but formulation-wise, I feel like the formula is the same. Very silky smooth, blends very beautifully into the skin, and you do get that glass-like look to the cheek. So we have Golden Moonlight on this side. I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, yeah, Golden Moonlight on this side, Bronze Mirage on this side. I feel like Bronze Mirage might be just a hair too deep for my complexion, just a hair. So for me, I will definitely be wearing Golden Moonlight more because I don't think you see it as much on my cheeks with Bronze Mirage, but it's such a beautiful color, and I'm like, if I get a little bit more tan this summer, I'll probably be able to wear Bronze Mirage better, but I love it nonetheless. I do have a couple other highlighters. I'll do the highlighter comparisons first because they're the easiest. Here is one of our highlighters from the Bridgerton collection, the first one. This is going to be Incandescent Gold 002. And I'm going to compare this to Golden Moonlight. So here is the Bridgerton Highlight, and then this is Golden Moonlight. Texture-wise, this has more of like a gelée type formula. So this is going to give us more of that metallic finish. This has a little bit more texture than these two, well, these three highlighters. This is a little bit more textured, but still very beautiful. And as you can see, looking up close, these three highlighters are gonna be more opaque in their formulation. This is almost like a highlighter topper, if you will. And this has more of a stronger gold to it than the other three shades that I have, or I should say more so these two shades here. Then I have Pat's Blush and Highlighter Trio. This is from her first Bridgerton collection, and I'm gonna swatch Venus Nectar. I did drop this palette and it broke, so the highlighter specifically broke in this one. So I'm not gonna show you all what it looks like in the pan because it's just broken and I don't wanna throw it away. But I am gonna do a nice swatch. And if you have this one, you know what it looks like. So here is Venus Nectar from that palette. So Venus Nectar, then we have Incandescent Gold 002, Golden Moonlight, Bronze Mirage, and then Golden Nectar. So that's what these shades look like. And I feel like out of the two ones that I picked up here, Venus Nectar, Golden Nectar don't look identical to these two. So if you have them, you're interested in getting them, I would say that you could get at least the two that I have. I don't know about the other two highlighters because I don't have them, but I am not repeating myself. Now, do I think that these shades are like revolutionary and you probably already don't have them at home? If you've got, you know, 3, 4 highlighters, you probably have shades like these. So I don't think that these highlighters in terms of like shades are going to be highlighters that you don't have. In terms of formulation, they're really smooth and very silky and blend really nicely into the skin. So formulation wise, you may not have a formula like this, but I really do enjoy these highlighters. I think they're beautiful. Highly would recommend them, especially if you're looking to try some of Pat's highlighters. I think this formulation is her best formulation for highlighters. Okay, now getting into these blushes, I was like, now these blush comparisons, woo child. Okay, let's get started. So I have all 9 of her original blushes because I knew I wanted them all. So I am just going to do this as quickly as possible. So let's start off with Venusian Sunrise. Venetian Sunrise is right here. I'm gonna swatch this shade right here. In her original blush formula, we don't have any shades like this. So actually, I'll swatch the individual petal shade and then I'll swatch the 2 shades together, because when I swatched the 2 shades together, I remember looking at it and being like, this looks kind of similar to one of her original blushes. So this is the petal shade by itself, okay? Then this is both the shades swatched together, all right? Let's swatch Nymphet. So this is what Nymphet looks like. And this is the blush duo in Venusian Sunrise. So Nymphet, I'm gonna compare it to just the blush shade by itself. So I'm gonna put that right here. This is one of Pat's original cooler tone blushes. And looking at the swatches next to each other, they don't look the same, or the actual tones of them don't look the same. Let's look at Divine Rose, the original Divine Rose. Divine Rose, the original one, in my opinion, is a little more cool tone. I'll put it right here, right smack dab in between the original, the singular swatch and the combined swatch. And that wasn't a good one, so let's do that again. I can't even see the differences between the two. All right, so let me put it right here. So this is Divine Rose from her original blushes. This is the shade Venetian Sunrise, swatched together. And then this is the individual swatch of the pink shade in the dual blush. And I don't think we are getting I don't think we're getting too much of a duplicate of the two. I think Divine Rose is a little more neutral and not as cool as Venetian Sunrise. So I don't think we have any type of like overlap or, you know, too much of the same blush there. And for space, I'm just gonna take off the swatches that I just had because I can't get all the swatches and all the comparisons on my hand. All right, so next we're gonna do Divine Rose 2. So the first swatch is gonna be the rays of the Duo blushes. This is going to be the petals of the Duo blushes. And then this third swatch will be the two shades mixed together. So let's just swatch it compared to the original Divine Rose because I feel like we just need to do it. Divine Rose versus original Divine Rose. So here is the original Divine Rose. As you can see, it is much lighter and a cooler tone than the Divine Rose 2. But I will say, if you have Divine Rose and you have my complexion, it shows up really beautifully on the cheeks. So don't think it would be too cool toned for you. Let's then take it next to Cherish. So here's Cherish, one of her original blushes, and then this is Divine Rose 2. So I'm gonna put Cherish right here between the swatch of the petals of the Duo and then the swatch of the two shades combined together. So this is the swatch of the two shades in the Duo blush combined together, Cherish, and then the petal shade. And I think, yeah, the shade Cherish is just a little more cool than these two shades right here. Let's compare it to Love Struck. So we've got Love Struck, Divine Rose 2. Let's put that right here. So there's Love Struck, and then this is Divine Rose, and then this is the swatch of the Divine Rose 2 blushes mixed together, and the individual swatches of the two. I feel like the petal shade of the blush Duo and Love Struck are quite similar, but Love Struck is still going to be a little more deep in its tone than the petal shade of Divine Rose 2. And then the shade swatched together, these two shades swatched together, is definitely not going to be as deep and rich as a Love Struck. So happy to see that, because when I saw this shade in Love Struck, I was like, are they too close? I mean, on the cheeks, they might look a little similar, but I feel like if you are of a deeper complexion and you're wondering like, is Divine Rose 2 gonna show up on me the way that I want it to? If you want more of a richer, warmer tone of blush, I would look for Love Struck. If you have a deeper, richer complexion. My mom has this, and I've shown pictures of my mom more so on Instagram than here. I'll insert a picture here so you can see my mom. She wears Love Struck and she loves it. It shows up so beautifully against her complexion. So if you have a complexion like my mother, I would suggest Love Struck over Divine Rose 2, simply because Divine Rose 2 might be a little, it might not be as rich as you want it to be. But that also depends on your undertone too. So that is that. But do I think Divine Rose 2 will show up on your complexion? I really do think it will. It just depends on your undertone and if you want more of like a warmer toned blush or maybe a more neutral, cooler tone. So that would, I would say, be the difference there. Now let's get into Paradise Glow. All right, so Paradise Glow, this is the shade that's on the rays. This is the petal shade right here. And then this is a swatch of both shades together. So here we have Paradise Glow and Nude Venus right here. This was another one that I was like, oh, these might be a little too similar, but we'll see. Let's put Nude Venus right here because I think that looks closest to the rays of the Duo blush. The ray shade from the blush Duo definitely is warmer than Nude Venus here. And Nude Venus looks a little more pinky toned versus Paradise Glow has more of that brownish, maybe terracotta hue to it. So I'm very happy about that. I love Nude Venus, let me just say. It's like one of the shades that I travel with. Now let's go into Paradise, what is it called? Paradise Venus? Yes, Paradise Venus is another one that I was like, this is another one of my favorite ones from her original blushes that I tend to travel with. And I am interested to see how Paradise Venus compares to the petals of Paradise Glow, all of this paradisiness. So here is Paradise Venus. This is the petal shade of Paradise Glow, and then this is the two shades mixed together. Paradise Venus looks a little deeper than the Raise shade of the Paradise Glow Duo. But it's not as deep as the petal shade, and it's a little lighter than the two shades mixed together. But these two shades I think are quite similar. I mean, they're just a hair different. It's a hair different. So here's what I would say. If Paradise Venus didn't tickle your fancy, if you didn't feel like it was warm enough, rich enough, then Paradise Glow is gonna be that one for you. Oh, this one I can already tell is gonna be just a favorite of mine, of like all of Pat's blushes. I can already tell. Let's compare Desert Orchid. It's another one of my favorite ones from her original. I love them all, I do. But there's just some that I just really go to. Paradise Venus, I don't think we're gonna see too much similarity at all. I'll put Paradise Venus right here in the middle. Yeah, so this is going to definitely be lighter than Paradise Glow. So this is the swatch of Paradise Glow mixed together, the petal shade of Paradise Glow, Paradise Venus, and then the Raise shade of Paradise Venus. And then this is, oh, I forgot what this shade was. Nude Venus, there we go. So yeah, this one is not going to be, well, actually, let me take this back. Paradise Venus looks very similar to the Raise shade of, yeah, the Raise shade of Paradise Glow. Well, look at that. Ooh, that is very similar. The biggest difference is going to be the finish. So the blush duo is gonna have more of a satin finish, and this is definitely more of like a highlighty type of blush. You can see that here. So now I would say these would be the closest comparison so far. So here we go. Here is Desert Orchid. Oh, I've been saying it all wrong. Desert Orchid, so sorry. Desert Orchid is going to be that shimmery blush that I just swatched here. So sorry, I've been saying it wrong. So Desert Orchid and this shade right here look quite similar swatched on the arm. About that. Okay, lastly we get into Night Bloom. Oh, Night Bloom. So we got petal shade, the Raise shade. I do have some of that red left over. Here is the petal shade. Here is the shades mixed together, okay? And of course, Electric Bloom, Mother's original shade that I think just rocked the world. Maybe I'm being dramatic and extra, but it's Pat McGrath, so it's okay. So this shade here is Electric Bloom. I'll swatch that right here. Definitely not as intense as Night Bloom. Night Bloom is just like coming for us with the intensity. And the tones of it are very different. So Electric Bloom is definitely pulling more coral versus Night Bloom. I mean, this red right here is just so rich. And then you've got that purple hueish type of shade. So definitely not the same here. And really that's it, because all of her other blush shades don't look anything like Night Bloom. So here's Electric Bloom and then Night Bloom here. Two totally different tones, shades, like all the things. So those are all the comparisons that I have from Mother Pat's blushes. If there are other comparisons that you want me to do, just leave them down in the comment section and maybe I'll do like a quick short or something like that. But I knew that this video was gonna be kind of long, just swatching all of Pat McGrath's blushes from the 4 that I have. So what are my final thoughts? I love these blushes. I think the formulation of them is really beautiful, and a little bit, once again, goes a very long way. I like how she did the combinations of the blushes here, because even though some of them are a little similar to her original blushes, I think these duos give you a couple of things. Number one, they do give you more of a satin finish. So if you're not into like totally matte blushes, or you're not into completely shimmer blushes, you get a beautiful satin finish here. Also comes with a very nice mirror. Packaging is very nice and luxe. It's not that cheaper plastic packaging that we've sometimes experienced with the brand. I hate to say it like that because I love Pat McGrath, but sometimes the packaging is just a little rougher. The edges of this are a lot more smooth and it just feels of better quality. So number one, I think we get a beautiful satin finish, but also number two, colors that you wouldn't originally think that you'd want to pair together, like Night Bloom. I wouldn't have thought to originally put these two together, or even Venetian Sunrise. I keep saying sunset, but when I saw this one, I was like, what? Wow. Do they? They do. So I really love these color combinations that she put together. I didn't pick up the other two because I remember one was like pretty light, but I might go back and get them just so that I can have them, because like I mentioned before, I have all 9 of her original blushes, and some of the lighter ones from the original blushes I didn't think would work for my complexion, but they do, which I love. You know, I love when you can just wear all the things. So I really love these. I think that they are so beautiful. I would definitely suggest a couple of things. Number one, if you want more of a subtle flush to the cheeks, put powder on. I would definitely say that, because especially when I was doing the face swatches of them, I had nothing on my skin, but the makeup remover that I was using had more of an oil base to it, which I feel did make the blushes look much more pigmented on my skin. When I applied the Paradise Glow onto my face, I hadn't powdered it, but I did have foundation on, and once again, I definitely felt like I got a lot of pigmentation out of this blush. So I would agree from what she said, if you want more of a subtle flush to the cheek, powder your face first, then apply the blush. Also, if you feel like you're going in with too much blush, either go in with your foundation brush and apply that over the blush to tone it down, or apply some setting powder on top of the blush to tone it down. But I think that these are beautifully formulated. And like I said, I can most definitely see myself just reaching for all of these. I think formulation wise, the formula is very on par to her original blush formula. So if you like that formulation, I really think you're gonna enjoy this formulation. And you'll just get some beautiful, fun colors to play with. So, you know, I feel like with these duo blushes, you're getting 2 blushes in one, because you really can individually apply the blushes onto your face. And the pan size and the way that the product is distributed, you can actually fit your blush brush individually into the 2 shades and not feel like you're getting so much overlap. You'll definitely get some overlap if you swirl your brush, and we see that a lot in Night Bloom. But I also feel like because Night Bloom is overly pigmented, I don't want to say overly pigmented, but so pigmented, like you can see the red definitely has blended into the purple shade here. But if I go ahead and clean that up, you know, I can definitely get the different tones. So I just really like these. I think she did such a beautiful job with these. I'm very happy with my purchase. Highly recommend them. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of these blushes? Did you pick them up? You can get them from Sephora now, Pat McGrath's website. You can also get them from Selfridges. They're a little bit more expensive at Selfridges, but they are there. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.